Hey guys, how you doing? It's Chris. This video is going to be about the 2012 London Olympics. This thing was pretty much the biggest human sacrifice ever in the history of the world, I believe. And I believe that this is the biggest human sacrifice and witchcraft ritual that has been participated by every nation pretty much. They put a curse over every nation. Every nation yielded to this. There were people from every nation there. Anybody who watched this or thought that this was something that is anything but a satanic ritual, you got cursed by watching this ritual. Because if you watched it out of ignorance, you were deceived by the devil. It was so blatant, guys. I mean, there was a 50, 100-foot tall witch and a tree of good and evil and a little baby that they laid out in the middle of all this, and guys riding around with little angel wings, fallen angels flying around, and it was a complete mess. Octopuses, Freemasonry symbols, phoenixes. I mean, the thing was loaded from beginning to end, guys. The design of all the structure was from beginning to end. The actual way they built the whole stadium and the structures outside were all Tower of Babel-like satanic imagery. I mean, if you don't see it and you don't plan on waking up and you don't want to accept Jesus, you might as well just let the devil drag you down to hell now, because you're finished, you're done. The devil's so close to pulling out his plan that you don't have even a day to really think about it, because Jesus could come back at any time, and the tribulation could go into play at any time, and no one knows the time or the hour but the Father. And man, are people playing Russian roulette, people that didn't accept Jesus. If you have a hobby that you love right now, whether it be sports, gambling, working, exercise, you better just throw it completely in the garbage and accept the Son of God. Because this ceremony they did at the London Olympics, the logo said Zion, everything about it was satanic, and it's almost like the Illuminati doesn't care anymore. They must be planning on doing something within this year or the next year, because they're so blatant right now that I just don't understand how they could be this blatant and the whole world can't be turning to Jesus. But I want to look at each picture and go over each picture and talk about it. And, I'll show you guys why they did these things, where they were going with this. And that's all I could do, I guess. I hope this wakes some people up, because I know when I saw it, I was shocked. Even knowing that Satan controls this world and they do witchcraft on a massive scale, this blew my mind even after knowing all that. When I saw this, I was just like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, look what they're doing, and no one knows what they're doing. Why would there be a witch in the middle of the Olympics? Why? Why would that be there? A big, huge witch. A little baby laid out like it's in a coffin in front of the whole world. It's just unbelievable. I got to do a video on the Denver airport too, where they got pictures of little children being killed by Nazis and stuff. Wow. I am going to do a video on that, actually. Anyway, let's take a look at these pictures. I'll go through them one by one, and then we'll talk about it at the end. Okay, guys? Thanks. Okay, guys, here you see the whole stadium. You see triangles and pyramids all over the stadium. And mainly what you see here is you see this big sculpture on the outside, which is a massive satanic phallic symbol. Just like your Christmas trees, just like the obelisks, just like the Tower of Babel. You see the spiraling going around this phallic symbol? A lot of times when a demon comes out of somebody, the person will start spinning like a propeller. That's because the demonic power it moves in that spiral. It's charged up in that fashion. It's very common, guys. It's a symbol of the serpent coiling and uncoiling. When a demon comes out of somebody, the serpent uncoils and they start to spin. Here's another picture. To top it all off, you got the poisonous trails going over the stadium so they can make sure they poison everybody that goes to this event, and that they could amplify the demonic presence into the natural by spraying all that metal and electrifying the air. But aside from that, this thing is meant to be like a large male phallic symbol, and the thing coming out of the top is meant to be male ejaculation coming out of the top. And anybody who's been in the spirit realm long enough that's had sex with a demon, whether knowingly or unknowingly, will know that this is what they're trying to get out of you if they try to have sex with you in the spirit realm. And this is exactly what's happening all over the world to people that are having sex with these demons. They're going into the spirit and they're having sex, and the demon seeks for their sperm. That's exactly what it's there for. And here you see it again, and not really much more to say about it. This was just a good picture of it. Again, the spiraling around the phallic symbol is something you saw in the Tower of Babel. It's something that they were doing all the way back in the Bible, in the Old Testament, when Nimrod, who was a descendant of Noah, built this massive tower. They called it the Tower of Babel. Some people say that's because God confused everyone's speech, but I'm not sure if that's why they call it that. I think the word Babel has other meanings. However, they built this tower. Some say it was taller than any building built today, and it reached up into the sky. Here's a little rendering of it. Of course, this isn't an exact picture of it. It's just a rendering. But you could see the spiraling of it. You could see the staircases. What they were doing with this is they were trying to reach the heavens. This was something God hated. This was a civilization of men that were all trying to exalt themselves and build an altar onto themselves. And this was satanic inspired for sure, guys. And what happened was God came down. He hated what he saw when he saw this tower, and he confused everyone's languages so they couldn't communicate with each other, so they wouldn't all be united like a one world government. And honestly, ever since God did this, Satan's been trying to reinstitute a one world government ever since God confused the languages. It's been the devil's goal to do it again. Here you see a tree just like you saw in the Garden of Eden. This is meant to be the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Guys, it makes no sense, this stuff. It makes no sense how people don't see the connection to the Bible. But the problem is no one even reads the Bible today. And you people who don't read your Bible and don't know the will of God and the ways of God, you have no truth in you. You have nothing in you that's of any value, only stupidity that bears no fruit. Somebody that goes to this event and watches this event and doesn't have Jesus Christ is lost. They are just a throwaway soul. And when all this comes to an end, they're going to go down to the lake of fire. And there's no two ways about it. Here's a picture of J.K. Rowling, or Rowling, whatever her name is. This is the witch that wrote all the books on Harry Potter. She seems like a nice woman. She fools everyone with that sweet English accent, but she's a high-level Satanist without a doubt, because you could no way know the ways of the witchcraft that she is putting in Harry Potter without being a full-blown witch and without being a Satanist and without using the powers yourself. and you could no way become the billionaire and the success that she has become without using demonic satanic powers in the spirit realm. It is absolutely impossible. Guys, there is not one billionaire that's alive on this earth right now that is not under the anointing of Satan to have all that money. It is absolutely impossible. No one of Jesus Christ can have that kind of money. Number one, no one of Jesus Christ wants that kind of money. And number two, the devil controls all money, and he would not allow that kind of power into someone's hands that would do good with it. There's just no way. Here's a part of the thing where they rip the tree out of the ground and all these people come out of the ground. This is a symbol of conjuring up demonic spirits. It might be a symbol of the locusts coming out of the pit or the demons coming out of the pit. Only Satan knows the exact demons he's trying to conjure with these little rituals. But all I know is it is conjuring. And you could see that they made a little hill, they made a little mound, and they put spirals in that mound. And all these little things that are hard to notice are very important. They need to do these things to conjure the demons. This is why all over the country, when you drive into the middle of the country, you see these little mounds in South Dakota and all around. That is why. Here's a little maypole dance. This is a pagan ritual. It started in ancient Babylon. It's a fertility dance. It's a dance that celebrates sexuality and the fertility gods. But, you know, this was just another little stupid thing they did in the middle of the ceremony. Not really much to say about this. It's just paganism. It's not of Jesus Christ. It gives homage onto the devil and it calls up demons. And there's no two ways about it. In the next picture you're going to see that they had sheep walking around. And those sheep are supposed to represent the general population. The Illuminati calls the average person the sheep. They're the wolves and we're the sheep. So it's like they're hunting us all the time. They're walking among us and they kill us at their own will. And that's the idea of the wolf and the sheep. And then you have the idea of the wolf in sheep's clothes, the wolf in sheep's clothing. That comes from the Bible, and basically it's somebody that looks like a sheep but is really of the devil. So they portray that they're of Christ, but they are of Satan. That's like a pastor who's sleeping with prostitutes or something like that. That's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He's portraying to the world that he's a man of God, that he's a sheep, he's one of the flock, and he's not. He's of Satan. And this is why you see all the Teen Wolf stuff going on and all the shows about werewolves and all this stuff. Anyway, here's a picture of a couple guys walking around or riding bikes with the angel wings. These neon colors are active in the spirit realm. I've seen demons with neon faces. It's very common, actually. I've seen it a couple times. And basically this is symbolism of angels, fallen angels, demons. And you will see these wings everywhere. Like I said, you're going to see them at the end. You're going to see them at the end of this video. They're being used in many places. And there's not really much more to say about this. Here's the phoenix. This is a symbol of the devil. It's a symbol of Satan rising up out of the flames of hell, coming up for eternal life up onto the earth. This is a very common symbol. I'm going to do a video on this in my Signs of the Devil series. It's probably going to be one of the next few. The phoenix is all over the place. They portray it in many different forms. They make the eagle take the image of the phoenix. They make this is really meant to be a cockatrice in my opinion, or a dragon. A cockatrice is like a rooster and a dragon mixed. But the phoenix is a mythological creature in itself. There's no such thing as a phoenix in the world. That's an actual bird called the phoenix. However, they use this image in the Harry Potter movies also, which are completely witchcraft. Here's an octopus. The octopus is the symbol of the Illuminati in that they have their tentacles on everything. And each one of those tentacles represents the medical industry, the banking, the politics, the media, whatever they have their tentacles on, it's their way of trying to show that they have their claws into everything, and it's become a symbol of their power structure on the earth. Okay, here's the logo they used. Somebody figured out that this said Zion. I wouldn't have seen this, but good work to whoever found this. Zion's another way of saying Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a symbol of the world to come. Jerusalem belongs to Jesus Christ and his Father. However, Satan tries to hijack it and make a mockery out of it. And this is why we have so many troops in the Middle East, and we're about to see a holy war in the Middle East. Because Satan feels that if he could lock down that territory, he could control the return of Christ. As if he can, he can't. Because the return of Christ is going to be a supernatural, awesome, powerful event that no man or no military force can stop on this earth. This one's a statue of a woman named Alison Lapper. She's a painter. I have no idea why they're worshipping this image of her. She was apparently born this way with shortened legs and no arms. And, you know, she had a kid out of wedlock. She basically wears a nose ring and she walks around with mohawks and a shaved head. She's very New Age-like in her mentality. And, you know, I'm not saying I feel bad for her situation. But what I'm saying is this isn't somebody that needs to be worshipped, that's for sure, just because of her deformities. Number one, we are not to worship any idols, and this is an abomination in itself. But as for worshipping her, as you can see, it says here, rites. Now, basically what the Illuminati's doing is using her to make people think it's okay to have a completely messed up household and to be anything you want to be, to look like a man from the neck up, and to be a woman, and to have no arms or no legs is honorable, and we should worship this. And, you know, again, I feel bad for her, but she doesn't belong in the middle of the Olympic ceremony. She just doesn't belong there. God only knows, you know, what side she's on. She's probably on the devil's side. She's probably a devil worshipper. She wouldn't be there. But I don't really know, so the point I'm trying to make is that the statue of this woman doesn't belong there. Here's an image of the dragon that they put up, a flaming image of the dragon. You could see the double snakes coiling down by the beard. You could see the nose and the eyes and the ears, and you could see the crown. This is, you know, I mean, I almost get exhausted looking at the Olympic ceremony. There's just so much satanic symbolism. I've never been so exhausted doing a video, and I don't even think I'm halfway through these pictures. From beginning to end, the thing was a massive invoking of demons and a massive witchcraft ceremony, but, you know, nobody seems to really find this odd anymore. I don't get it, but, you know, everybody that was there that didn't know what was up, they got their curse from being there. Here's an image of the whole stadium, an aerial view. You could see the serpent-like snake in the middle of the whole thing. You could see these columns they put up. In the Bible it says don't put up columns and do ceremonies and stuff like that, because you're basically worshiping other gods. You could see the witch in the middle of the stadium there, the one that I'm going to show you later toward the end. But very weird, guys. From beginning to end, this is all intentional. It's very weird. They made the whole stadium to be a witchcraft seance and idols and all this different stuff, so not much more to say about this. The next picture I'm going to put up is a picture of probably the most abominable part of this whole ceremony. You can see all these little children standing around hospital beds with nurses and what looks to be like a sleeping or a dead baby laid out in the middle of the stadium. Now all these little kids are around it, and those nurses are not paid actors, they're volunteers from a hospital, but I believe all the children are also volunteers, but I'm not sure. But the point I want to make here is if you look at the bed, you'll see all these little curved over things that look to appear like they're lights, and what they actually are is they're a crozier. It's a wizard's staff. So basically what they did is they tricked these kids and all these people into being participants into a witchcraft ritual where they laid this baby out in the middle of the stadium. And what this is basically a massive sacrifice, a massive offering onto demons. Every little kid in this stadium has been offered upon a demon, and anybody that did not see the truth in this ceremony was demonized and fooled by the devil because of it. You can't watch stuff like this and enjoy it without getting some kind of spiritual darkness, people. Because if you could watch something like this and not find something wrong with this, you're a mental case. There's no two ways about it. Why would you watch something that you don't know what it even means? I guarantee you 99 out of 100 people or 999 out of 1,000 people that watched this go on never even sought out to find the meaning behind what they were doing. And that is just plain stupidity. Look at all these children. Look at all these little kids that their parents are so stupid that they'll do anything to put their kids in the Olympics, so they offer them up onto demons unknowingly. That's exactly what happened here. And I couldn't find a picture of this, but what happened in some of the videos I saw was beings dressed up like demons ended up running through these beds. They ended up like they were going to capture the children. And then a big witch was blown up, a big 30, 40 foot tall witch that I'm going to show you at the end, that it was like a big huge conjuring of these demons that ran through these beds and went through there and scared these little kids. So basically they make the kids call the demons in and sacrifice themselves onto demons. And it's really the parents' fault, because most of those kids are under the age of accountability. Anyway, here's another crozier. They disguise the umbrella like a crozier. You're going to see these croziers all throughout this whole deal, because this is something they need to do to conjure the demon power. They disguise it as different things. Basically, you're going to see these croziers in satanic temples. You're going to see, you'll see them in movies like The Hobbit, where the wizard has them. I'm going to show you a picture of that. And you're going to see them in many other places, especially in the ritual they did at Stonehenge, the real Stonehenge, to commemorate that these Olympics were coming in. And guys, this is just... how you guys don't see the symbolism? This is why the bottom of an umbrella is curved. This is why that is. Why do you think the bottom of an umbrella is curved? That's why. Here's the archbishops of, I believe, the Orthodox churches. They're all holding on to this crozier because these are all satanic priests. Anybody that dresses up like a druid is a druid. And that's exactly what these people are dressed like. They're dressed like druid priests. They're dressed like pagan priests. They're adorned in gold and silver, like the Bible says is an abomination. They pray with their head covered, like the Bible says is an abomination for a man to pray with his head covered. I don't know who these people worship. I don't know what Bible they think they use. But if you want to learn more about stuff like this, you could go watch my video on the Roman Catholic Church. And I did, I believe, about a 1-hour video on the whole church. So you could go there if you want to watch that. Here's another crozier. And here's another Satanist. And I know for a fact that that crozier is the head of a dragon. So at the tip of that crozier is the head of a Leviathan dragon that's curled up. You can't see it from this angle, but if you don't want to take my word for it, go look it up yourself. But these popes and these archbishops, they put dragons on the end of the staff, and they put crosses with Jesus hanging off the cross on it, which is a blasphemy to anyone that has a Jesus cross with him hanging on it. It's blasphemy. And, you know, these guys are pagan wizards, and like I said, these are things you see in books that were written by J.R. Tolkien and J.K. Rowling and all these other people who do witchcraft that are major occultists. Here's a picture from a book, The Hobbit. I used to love this book before I knew Jesus, when I was demonized all the way from a child. I read this book twice. It was the only book I ever read as a kid. It was the only book I ever liked. Go figure. That was not a mistake. That's because I had demons from childhood. I've had a Leviathan demon from birth. But he doesn't bother me anymore, so... He's still there, but he doesn't bother me. I don't know when God's going to remove him. But aside from that, these guys, look at the crozier in this wizard's hand. This is all magic, guys, black magic. And, you know, they did it at Stonehenge. Here's a picture of the ritual they did at Stonehenge. There's no croziers in this picture. But what you're going to see later on in this video is they actually did a mock, they rebuilt Stonehenge at the Olympics. You're going to see those pictures after this ceremony. They rebuilt this entire situation in the middle of the stadium. Now, Stonehenge is an ancient witchcraft ritual site. It's an ancient blood sacrifice site. They've had these stones up a long time ago. I believe they were put up by giants or Nephilim or demonic power. They were not put up by the hands of mortal men, I could tell you that much. And it makes no sense how these heavy stones were placed so long ago, because Stonehenge is said to be built about 5,000 years ago. So it makes absolutely no sense how mortals with just human power could have placed those stones. Here's another picture of that same ritual. This ritual lasted 3 nights, I believe. I don't know why it lasted 3 nights, but 3 is a number of Satan, and so is 9, and so is 6, and so is 21. Most of their blood sacrifice nights are on the 21st of the month. I don't know what date this fell on, this ceremony. I really don't even care. After a while, you get exhausted keeping track of what these demons are doing and what these Satanists are doing. After you know enough about them, you just don't need to know any more about them, because you just know what they're up to. But here's another picture. This picture is showing them with the croziers that they were using. You could see that this is a different way to disguise a crozier. You see the bent over staff that these people were holding? But God forbid that there's not a staff with a hook at the tip. Guys, this is where your candy canes come from. This is why people use candy canes at Christmas time. Because it's all paganism, it's all witchcraft, and it's all Satanism. You guys need to learn where these things come from. If you have candy canes in your house, you need to get them out of your house. They're no good. They're a symbol of the devil. No two ways about it. Basically what it is it's a little crozier that's made out of candy. And the little red coily thing around it is the serpent around the rod. Just like you'll see in the Kundalini symbol that people use. Here's another picture of the same ceremony where they lit this little ball on fire. I don't know if they do this every year, that light a ball like this in these pagan rituals, and I don't know if they do it at Stonehenge all the time. But after this picture, you're going to see that they had a golden ball in the middle of the Stonehenge that they built in the middle of the Olympic Stadium, and I could only imagine that likely what went on here is these people invoked demons and they sent them over to the Olympic Stadium, and that this was one big plan. Otherwise, why would they be using all the same type of voodoo? Basically what it is voodoo. They conjure the demons up into an item, into a ball, or into a fire, and then they send them somewhere else. And they sacrifice all these people onto these demons. Here's the picture from the reproduction they did at the Olympics. You could see the golden ball, and you could see the apples in the air. The apples signify the deceit that Satan got us to. He deceived us into falling down to earth. Basically, it comes from Genesis, from the garden, when Eve ate the apple and the serpent tricked her into eating the apple. This is why you have your symbol for Macintosh computers is the apple with the bite taken out of it, the one bite. However, you could see the Stonehenge reconstruction in the middle of the stadium. This was meant to duplicate Stonehenge, and I believe that demons from Stonehenge came into this stadium. And here's another picture of it from a different angle. You could see all the people around it are dressed like pagan, forest spirits. Almost like Peter Pan was dressed. And as we go through this, you're going to notice that all the shows that we used to watch when we were kids, like Peter Pan, Mary Poppins, all these different shows, they come from witchcraft and they come from Satanism, and it was a plan for Satan the whole time to get us used to this stuff so he could bring it out in the end days. And it's an inside joke among Satanists the whole time. And if you notice, most of the shows like Peter Pan, like Mary Poppins, like Jumanji, like Wizard of Oz, all these shows where the kids are drawn away from their family into another world, that's supposed to make us as children brainwashed into wanting to look into another world, which is to them, which is the demonic realm that they want us to think is cool. That we need to get involved in witchcraft and we need to get interested in this stuff. Here's a different angle of this same shot. You see the Stonehenge again on the bottom, and you see that glowing ball. Now, guys, no one knows exactly the logistics of the way they want to conjure these demons, but I could tell you one thing. From what I've seen, they basically could have done whatever they wanted with these demons and with the people that were in this stadium and with the nations that were a part of this stadium. The Olympic Games tie all the nations together, so they basically now have legal ground. Whatever they conjured up can go into any nation wherever they want, pretty much. Anyone who really looked at this and watched this ceremony can get them. And I'm sure even some people that didn't watch this that are sinning could get them. But here you see the eye of Lucifer in the middle of the stadium, the red flaming eye. And you could see the middle looks like a pupil. It's got a black dot in the middle, and you could see it looks exactly like an eye. And again, you see the pyramids around the stadium, the Freemasonry pyramid, that they used an upside down compass formation to make them. And I believe there's 14 of them around the stadium, but I'm not sure. I believe I heard that. If there is 14, it likely represents the 13 families of the Illuminati, and Lucifer would be the last one. Here's a phoenix. Here's a little picture to show you what they were doing with this. That's a Freemasonry picture to the right there. You see the phoenix? You see the phoenix with the hourglass with the wings? That means we're running out of time in that picture. But on the left you just see the fiery phoenix. This is a symbol of the dragon coming up out of the flames of hell. This is a symbol of Satan. The compass is a symbol of the wings of the angel coming down into through the legs of man. And it's a symbol of the angelic realm sexually merging with the human realm, with the physical realm. And you'll see these upside down wings on the Acura symbol, and you'll see many other symbols with the human legs, the V. Like the Mazda symbol is angel wings. I'll go through all those symbols in another video. Here's the eye of Lucifer again. Again, you see the blue, the blue and the red, and these are their colors, obviously, just like the U.S. has them. Those are the colors they use over in London on their flag. And guys, the red, white, and blue is Illuminati colors. That's why it's on Pepsi. That's why it's on almost every gasoline logo there is. Any company that is owned by the Illuminati's red, white, and blue, or red and blue. Here's a good shot of the whole stadium. You could see that tree of the knowledge of good and evil all the way on the end. You could see all the pyramids made out of the compass all around the top of the building. And you could see the colors that they use are like reddish purple. And I find that funny because we all know in the book of Revelation they say that the harlot sits on a beast, and she uses the colors scarlet and what's the other one? Crimson. She uses scarlet and crimson, and I find it funny that they always use this purple-like tone. And if anyone who's into New Age will know that they try and get you to meditate on this violet light, because this is this light in the spirit realm is like sustenance to them or something. I don't know why they always want people using that light. Here's a pyramid in the middle. God forbid that one ceremony goes by without them putting their pyramid in the middle and everyone dancing around it. But this is the one time that they put a pyramid out in this ceremony, other than the ones you saw on top of the stadium. But it's just mind-blowing how the whole thing from beginning to end was witchcraft and honoring Satan and conjuring up the Antichrist. God only knows how many beasts and major principalities were conjured in this ceremony, guys. I wish I could tell you which ones they conjured up, but I guarantee you that there's some of the most powerful ones in the kingdom of darkness were conjured up on this night. Because this from beginning to end involved all nations. There was a lot of intent behind it. It was a total mess. A total mess. Here's one of the big moments where they brought this witch out. You could see all the witches flying in the air. They call them Mary Poppins. What they really are is witches. Any human being that could fly in the air is a witch, or fly in the spirit realm is a witch. God, Jesus Christ, does not want anyone leaving their body until He calls them out of their body. You should not be leaving your body on your own. And, you know, How people don't find this nasty looking satanic demon witch to be an odd thing at the Olympics, I have no idea. You could see all the little kids. Remember I showed you guys the little kids with the croziers before? You could see them in the background. So basically all those little kids were sacrificed onto demons, guys. So and you could just see the way all these people who were involved in this got demonized from participating in this event. All these are actors. I know for a fact these the ones that flew in the air with the umbrellas, they were actors. But it doesn't matter. If you participated in it, you got demonized. No two ways about it. It doesn't matter if you know of Satan and Jesus or not. If you just did it out of ignorance, you got all the negativity that came out of it, and I know that for 100% certainty, because God says my people are lost out of ignorance, and He says don't be deceived by the devil, and you know, these people were deceived by the devil. But it says, and then it says if you are deceived by him, he will gain an advantage over you. It says that in the Bible, not in those words, but you could look it up yourself. Look up on Google, KJV, the devil will gain an advantage over you, and you'll see the verse I'm talking about. Here's Mary Poppins. Obviously, guys, people are going to say, well, those women were flying through the air in the Olympic ceremony because they were doing a reenactment of Mary Poppins, but no. What it is Mary Poppins is a reenactment of witchcraft. Mary Poppins is symbolic of witchcraft. Witchcraft came first, not Mary Poppins. This is why these movies are like this. This is why there's people flying through the air with umbrellas. That's sorcery, just like a witch's broom. What it really is the witch's broom is really a staff, and the umbrella is really a crozier. And this is Satan's little joke. Here you could see that they had little kids floating up toward this witch on a bed, almost like the witch was levitating the beds. And you see in this picture, remember I told you guys when this witch came out, all demons ran through the beds? You could see down by her feet, down by the witch's feet, all the little actors that were dressed like demons that ran through the beds. Guys, this stuff is nuts. This stuff is nuts. I don't know how half the stadium didn't just get up and walk out. And if you watch this on video, you have to see the morons cheering for this. They're so happy to be there. They're caught up in the moment. They're deceived by the devil. They're cheering like idiots. They're cheering like people watching a Beyonce concert. It's pathetic. Here, here's the witch from The Wizard of Oz. There's her staff that is shaped like a broom. And I'm just trying to show you guys the little symbolisms of all this, This stuff has been brainwashing us since before I was born. I'm almost positive The Wizard of Oz came out before I was born, without a doubt. But this stuff's been around since the foundation of Hollywood. Hollywood alone is a witchcraft item. Look up Hollywood and witchcraft. It's from Satanism. That's what people don't understand. People think that this just started happening. This was the plan from before Hollywood even began. This was the plan from all the way before Jesus was alive, I believe. Lucifer is a fallen angel. He was able to forecast what he was going to do. These fallen angels are very smart. I believe this was the closing ceremony, or one of the acts of the closing ceremony. I forget what this woman's name is. She was a singer from a while back, I believe in the 80s or the 90s. But you could see the demon wings. You could see the guy holding up the demon wings. And you could see her spreading her wings, and you'll see the same motion, the same symbolism that they do on the cover of the Titanic advertisement. And this is where you see all these little innuendos that they do and these little motions they do. But this woman was demonized out of her mind. Go watch the video on her. Her eyes were rolled back in her head. All these women were dressed like, satanic brides. All their eyes are blacked out with makeup like they're dead. I just don't see why everything needs to be vampires, death, blood, and Satanism. I mean, I know why it's happening, but I don't know why people are actually being a part of this. And we are in big trouble. We are in big trouble because the whole world wants to be a part of this stuff, guys. Anyway, this is the last picture. Not really much more to say about this part of it, but let's talk about the whole thing for a second. Alright, guys. Not really much more to say about the Olympics. I think I showed you enough stuff, but if you want to remain under a strong delusion, God bless. And that was God's will for you from the get-go, so I don't know. Everything's done for the sake of the elect according to the Bible. It's just too bad the fear of God wouldn't make you come online and be one of those elect. I mean, the Father knew from day one anyway. Anyway, guys, be blessed in Jesus' name, whether you're elect or not. This way you could enjoy the last few years of your existence in semi-peace, even though you don't know that this life isn't even peace compared to where some people are going that believe in Jesus, that know this stuff is of the devil, that know this is the biggest abomination that ever went down on the face of the earth. I think this is the biggest abomination that ever went down, the 2012 Olympics, that ever occurred on the face of the earth. God only knows what we're in store for. But remain strong in Jesus' name, and have a good night.